Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook Live streaming. Our shows are available video on demand on these channels. And we broadcast daily, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on these channels. On Mondays, Expanding Your Business. Tuesdays, Finding Health Naturally. Wednesdays, Mentoring Our Youth. Thursdays, Pets We Love. And on Fridays, Women in Leadership. Brought to you by our producers and hosts, Jim Grant and donnaguinouard. Along with our host, Beata Severin-Reed and Emerson-Brantley. Supported by our admin team of Michaela Vidal and Gaia Guinois Balconi Leda. And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Messages of Inspirational Stories is brought to you today by the good guys at the 6minutewebinar.com. And you can see we got Mr. Emerson Brantley with us today, and we're going to have some fun. This is going to be an interesting show for you folks out there in TV land. And we're going to share some great information for you. In fact, Emerson, before I get going into this, let me just say Emerson surprised me, and I became one of the individuals going to be talking about today. And I'm very, very excited about it. Emerson, welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A little bit of an Elvis impression there. Hey, you know what I found? And I want to share this with the folks out there in TV land. This is a picture of my mother and my father, and I really love it. And I just wanted to share it with the folks out there in TV land. If that's
look at there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm real proud of my mom and dad. My dad was a lineman, climbed poles all of his life, and he always had a dark complexion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I am a lineman for the county.
Oh, he was. Yeah. He climbed those poles. We got a video of him climbing a pole when he was 55. He is just like a squirrel went up there, you know.
It was a whole different world back then.
Oh yeah. And he used to play a joke on some of the young guys that come up there, you know, become linemen and all that. He used to challenge them. They'd stand back from two power poles about the same distance. He says, I'll guarantee you I can beat you to the top. And the young guys are thinking, hey, this old man can't beat me. But Dad he knew the secret. He says, when they would run up there to the pole, they would put their hooks in the side of the pole like he was regularly climbing. And of course, as fast as they were going, they were outrunning him. The hooks would, kick out, and they'd hit the pole and get splinters in their face, and he'd go up there and he'd T-bone it and go right to the top. He said, young guys, you just never learn, Oh, I just had to share that. It was a flashback of memories of my dad.
He was using his strap. He wasn't using his spikes he was using his spikes, but he was using his strap for the climbing. They thought they had to get in there and use their spikes and do that.
Yeah.
That was the difference. Yeah, I've seen them shimmy up those poles before.
Oh yeah.
They don't do it anymore. They've got cherry pickers now, but
I know it. I mean, that's a lost art, but to see my dad do that and see him climb up there. And I ladies and gentlemen, I can do a lot of things, but I don't care much for heights. I just don't. That's just not, I didn't get those genes from him, you might say. And I'd see him, he'd have his hooks in the pole there, the strap around it. He'd lean back all the way and reach back there and work on that thing on the lines there. And I'm going like, man, I couldn't do that.
We had some trees cut on our property about 4 or 5 years ago. And I watched these guys shimmying around and swinging from limb to limb and hitting it with the saw and his limbs falling. I'm going, oh my gosh, I don't even want to watch.
Oh yeah, because that'd make you start, starting to sweat and everything just watching.
50 feet up off the ground, 60, 70 feet off the ground in some cases. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because some of the poles in the lower areas would be taller, and the poles on the higher area would be a little shorter because they want to keep the line as level as they
Right.
could. Anyway, I got way off subject on that. We were going
Yes,
to
you
talk
did.
about Emerson called me up
Maybe there's a
one
book.
day.
There's a book in there somewhere, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Emerson,
I tossed you a ball there.
yeah, Emerson, he called me up one day and he says, "Hey, Jim, you remember Mike Lewis, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, in fact, we've had Mike on the show."
Yes, we
And
have.
mhm. And I said, "Well, of course I do." And I met Mike down in Orlando when I was down there speaking on stage. That's when I first met him. Yeah, at
I
Guerrilla
don't know if I knew
Marketing.
that, Jim. Because
Oh, you were
it was
there?
that event that ended up bringing us together too, wasn't it?
No, we met at Speaking Empire. Remember?
I know, but didn't you speak at an event in Orlando that led you to Speaking Empire?
No.
Okay,
I was at
my
another
bad.
event that was in Orlando too, and that's where I met the guys at Speaking Empire, and that's where I met you. And he first time I saw Emerson, he came out there and he was standing there. He's going to teach a class called Brand Response. He had a Pirates hat on, and
Arr.
yeah, and we had just sat down that morning. I got to tell this story real quickly. We
Oh,
just
tell it. You tell it so good, Jim.
at 8:30 in the morning, we had sat down. And I had just started, had a cup of coffee, just took a sip of coffee. And Emerson says, "Jim." And I said, "Yes." And he says, "What's the very first thing you want to do with your marketing?" And
Most
everybody,
important thing.
and I'm frequency hopping in between my ears, trying to come up with something intelligent. And I said, "Well, I guess attract as many people as you can." "No, you want to repel as many people as you can because you can't help everybody." And I said, "Well, I guess it's obvious I need this class." I never will forget that. That's classified as a precious memory in my
Well,
mind.
folks, those of you who own a business, a lot of times we obsess over getting more traffic, getting more people, getting
Oh
more
yeah.
calls, getting more customers.
Mhm.
And the reality is, if we didn't pass it this month, we're going to pass it in the next month or two. 8 billion people in the world. I think National
Wow.
Geographic had a cover on it.
Mm.
8 billion people in the world. Listen, Coca-Cola can't reach all 8 billion and make them customers. Neither
Mm.
can you. Ford can't
Exactly.
do it.
Mhm.
Name anybody you want to. Walmart,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. The
Yeah.
thing is, okay, if you can't have a chance, not even a long shot chance at having all 8 billion, what do you do? Well, the first thing I tell people to do, Jim, is step back
Mhm.
and figure out who you don't want.
Oh yeah.
So now you're just talking to the people that you do want, and
Mhm.
you're going to get a high percentage of those.
Mhm. You certainly
And
will.
it takes such pressure off of you if you
Mhm.
have a business or know somebody who does, to be able, look, let's take it out of business. In your personal world,
Mhm.
if you're dating, which a long time ago we both did,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, but if you're dating,
Hmm.
you need to know, are they a this or are they a that? But you have it in your head and you
The
figure
kind of
that part
person.
of it out. The people who
Mm.
don't figure it out, Jim, they go from one bad relationship to another bad
That's
relationship to another
true.
one, and so do
That's true.
businesses.
Oh yeah. And you see there on the marquee there, the 6-minute webinar.
Oh yeah,
If you struggle in how to get your ideal message out to your ideal client, because when someone's listening to you, they only want to know one thing: can you help them? The 6-minute webinar narrows that down.
it's a great program, folks. It
It
really
really
is.
is.
And
Mhm.
Jim didn't even pay me $5 to say that. It's a great
That's right.
program.
I tell you, it really is. And let's get going on this deal here. Emerson called me and he says, "Jim, you need a book." And I got to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been approached by people who says, "You need a book," trying to sell me a book and all that. But there was two things that I didn't like. Number one, it was expensive. And
Oh
number
gosh.
two, here's your book. Okay, now what I do with this thing? You know, I'm in this book here as one of the authors in the health turnaround story. That was because of my heart attack that I had and lessons from the heart. And I shared, stuff that's beneficial to people out there and, about, this concern about hearts and things of this nature. It wasn't my story of me having a heart attack. That would have been
But you
boring.
got lots of customers and guests from it, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Emerson called me, and I'm just going to let you pick up that conversation because, you just said, "Hey, Jim, you need a book or something like that. And I got a deal for you." And when Emerson tells you he's got a deal for you, remember the old commercials when E.F. Hutton talks? People listen. You need to listen to Emerson. I'm telling you. Him and Mike.
Jim, one of the things is, okay. I'm going to talk first to small business people.
Okay, sir.
Because a book can change the whole trajectory of your business.
Oh.
Now, if you have a thing in your family that you want to cover, the matriarchs in your family and things like that, that's another whole story that we can have.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really want to focus on are the people who are in a small business or large business of any size, or if you know someone who is, or even if you're in a company where you can go to somebody in the company and say, "Here's what we need." The one thing that will set you apart from your competition more than anything else is having a book that talks about the way that you do things, your values, the things to avoid doing, the tripwires that people need to look for, your success stories, interviews with your top clients, and on and on and on. But there's nothing like a book that can change the trajectory of your business. And Jim, there are a lot of reasons why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, there's nothing like being in a conversation with a prospective client where in the scope of the conversation, you say, "Well, by the way, I have a best-selling book on this. I'd love to give you a signed copy of it."
Oh, wow.
You just set yourself apart from everybody else they're talking to.
There you go. There you go.
When you have an interview, a lot of small businesses pay a lot of money for, especially local. Okay. Most of my career has been in national and international marketing. The hardest marketing you can do is local because everybody knows you. You have a limited audience to work with, and you're spending money trying to reach these people as many ways as you can.
Right, right.
Well, when you become the person in a local market that has the book on that business that you do, it changes the dynamics. Now, media interviews start becoming a lot easier and a lot more frequent. You become a go-to person for them. You give that book to a prospective client. Of course, you always sign your book, right, Jim?
Right.
Give that to a prospective client.
Yeah.
And even when that client doesn't use you, when they have a friend, a relative, or somebody that they know who needs your services, they will say to them, "You know what? Before you do anything, you ought to read this book." Right? There's something about, and it doesn't matter about everything, how digital we are. And I have been in digital marketing, folks, since the early 90s. So I'm not an unknown in the digital marketing space. But the point is, handing that physical product to somebody is powerful. Even if they don't read it,
right.
It is powerful. It is powerful.
Yeah.
There are a couple of problems in having that, though, right, Jim?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because it just gives you instant credibility. Now, let me ask the folks out there in TV land a question. How would you like to have a book on a topic that you are a subject matter expert in, regardless what it is? and it'd be a best-selling book on Amazon.
How would that change things?
Yeah, that's a lot better than somebody just, and I'm not knocking anybody's book, don't get me wrong, or anybody that produces books. But it's a lot different than, okay, we'll produce you a book. Here you are, how many copies you want? 100, 200, 300, 5,000?
Well, I'll put it in a different place, Jim.
Yeah.
What about you're talking to a prospect that's exactly the person that you want to be talking to,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, well, what do you think about so-and-so's book about this?
Mm-hmm.
And they have a book from one of your top competitors who is not anywhere near as qualified as you are.
Yeah.
And they're wanting you to defend yourself against somebody's book that, you could dance circles around.
Yeah, because that's true. I hadn't thought about that because a lot of times, Emerson, a book is like like being on TV. It gives you instant credibility. And if you got an Amazon bestseller, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about you buying books and publishing it. And okay, we got 100 books here. I got them in the garage. What am I going to do with them? That's a totally different game there. But
we got 100 comments on it. Well, I've never had anybody said to me they read somebody's book. Why should I listen? Well, hang on just a minute. What if you're watching your morning news or listening to the radio on your way into your office or business, and you hear one of your top competitors being interviewed like they're an expert?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Yeah. Because they had a book and they sent it to that reporter.
Let's
listen. If I can do this nationally, and I have done this nationally, locally is easier.
Oh gosh!
You have a book in your hand, and all of a sudden, the news director wants to talk to you. The editor-in-chief is okaying an article on you. The reporter is looking to you to fill their basket for the day on some topic that's related to what the type of work that you do. Yeah. They're not necessarily looking to promote you, but for you, that's what it ends up being, as a promotion, right?
Right, because picture yourself, let's just say that I'm a real good friends with the local writer here, and editor and publisher, the two guys with the local newspaper. And the one thing every single time that I call them and talk to them about something, they want to interview me, and they put me in the paper. I was on the front page of the news. And see, if you're there and you got your book, it gives you instant credibility. And wow, he wrote a book, or she wrote a book. It's really something. And they
quote things from the book, and they ask you questions from your book, and they talk to you. Oh my gosh, it's game changing.
Yeah.
It's game changing.
Yeah, because
how do you write a book, Jim? That's sounds like a lot of work, Jim.
Oh goodness, I got a slide up here. You give me show a slide or two here?
oh my gosh, Jim has a slide. I got to see this.
Okay, yeah. I mean, now I made the slide, so don't you won't need your cameras or anything. You don't want to take a picture of it or anything. But I think this here is the first one, I believe. Let's check and see. Is that it? Yeah. All you have to do is the same thing that I did. You will receive a professional interview by the publisher. And that is all there is to it. You're just going to sit there and talk. And Emerson, after you talk, and it's recorded, of course, what's the next step after that?
Well, it's going to be transcribed, and it's going to be cleaned up. Now, here's the thing. What if you already have you've already appeared on a TV show or a podcast or a radio interview, or already have an article that's been published about your business? Now you've already got it. You don't even have to, in many cases, you don't even have to redo that.
Yeah.
If it's a interview, podcast, or something like that, it can be transcribed and then cleaned up. You said rewritten. I say massaged. Okay?
Oh, massaged.
Massaged. I like that. Cleaned up.
Because, folks, I can tell you, many TV shows I've done, when Mike interviewed me, I was kind of a little bit like popcorn on a hot stove. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. Oh, and also this here, And so
it's true, folks.
yeah, the main thing of it is to get the information down.
Yes.
Once Mike transcribes it, he massages it and puts it in a logical order. Then you're going to receive it. And you will say, okay, I want to change this, or I want this to be here, or whatever. You have the final word on it because this is your book.
That's right.
And that's about all there is to it, ain't it?
You know, you get that final copy.
Mhm.
And again, folks, full disclosure here, I have worked in this. I have worked and I have written and created and promoted dozens and dozens and dozens of books and courses and you name it over the years. And this is
yeah.
a friend of ours who's been a publisher for many years, and he has a program designed to make this whole process easier.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
actually, Jim, I don't know if I ever told you this. I was part of a mastermind. And, you know, you and I have been part of many masterminds over the years. But this fellow in the mastermind actually had spent at that time over 8 years writing a book. 8 years, Jim. And my advice to him was get over it, get it out, get it done, and move on. And, you know, today he has a huge business online, and he's an advisor to a lot of Fortune 500 businesses. But the thing is, it took getting it out of him. What if it's not that hard to get it out? What if it's something you can just talk it and just the way that look, folks. And now I'm talking to business people out there. You have a business. If you have a chance, maybe you're not comfortable speaking in front of a networking group meeting or something, or a chamber of commerce, but you get a chance to sit down with exactly the kind of client that you want. You know what you have about your business. You have the talk that you do. You have the things you're able to say, and you're able to have that conversation. That is your book.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah.
It just needs a little bit of massaging, as I like to say.
Yeah.
Editing, formatting, you know, a little massaging, turn that into something you can pull out of your pack and hand to them and say, let me sign my book on this to you. I don't want you to forget any of these points as you're making this decision for your company, because it's so important. And I try to cover everything that we talked about here, even though we only had about 30 minutes here. This will give you the kind of details you need to help you make a good decision.
You know what, Emerson, you said something a while back, and I want to share this with the folks out there in TV land. Two things. Number one, if you suffer from glossophobia, the fear of public speaking, that was me. I used to avoid public speaking. I could sit down in a boardroom, give a report or something, but get up in front of people and talk, 10 or 12 people. And my world changed. In fact, it changed me. I had to become an instructor where I wanted to and not in the military. But my point being, I offer a free course on how you can conquer the fear of public speaking.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I give you my word. I know I can do it, because I had a senior person, a senior instructor, take me under his wing. He's, in fact, after I gave my first presentation, I was hoping nobody heard my knees knocking, and my throat was real tight. And he walked up to me and he says, "You're going to be a great instructor." I looked at him and I thought, he's got to be putting me together. But my point being, with your book, you get invited somewhere to speak, you can charge a fee to speak there say, for this money, I will also give away, however, you decide 50, 100, or 200 books in the back. After I'm done, I'll autograph them with the people. And it's going to be an Amazon bestseller, and they can take their picture with me, whatever. I mean, because your job is to make the event coordinator look good. And they go there and
Jim,
get a free book.
As you know, and as some of the viewers who've been with us for a while know, I had a mastermind with over 250 professional speakers who went into corporate environments, and it was not unusual at all. I'm going to say that again. It was not unusual at all for them to include an additional 1,000 to 5,000 of their books at the conventional retail price of $24.95 each book, on top of their contract to go in and speak or train or inform or whatever. So it was just a very simple thing that picked up an extra 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, in some cases, $1,000 or more to their contract.
Wow.
Those are professional speakers. If they can do it, you know, it may not mean that you can do it if you have a local business.
Right.
But it does mean that your book has value. And I'm going to ask you to do this, Jim. I'm going to ask you to change this. Take it away from my website, which I appreciate the fact. Folks, you guys can reach me at web3 at web3direct.com anytime. But put up Mike's website, would you?
Oh,
Ideasworthknowing.com.
Ideas worth knowing. Let me find it. Good help.
The reason I want to do that is because those of you who might have an interest in a book, whether it's because you own a business or, like I said earlier, you just want to be able to highlight, say, the amazing women in your family, okay? Or whatever the reason is, being able to do this and do it in a way where you get a value product that you're able to put out there, that's quality, I should say, a quality product that's being put it out there and get over the hump. Because, Jim, you know, we all have this hump of ideas get over. And so many of those ideas never come to fruition, you know? So many family stories are lost. So many businesses end up getting pushed off to the side because some other business not as strong as yours is able to get the eye and ear of the news director, of the editor, of the blog post owner, of the podcast owner, and get that interview that opens the doors and opens the doors and opens the doors. And, you know, ideasworthknowing.com. As you said, Jim, we interviewed Mike Stewart here. Oh, not that long ago. You folks, you can go in and check out that interview too if you want. But ideasworthknowing.com highlights how this program works. But I'm gonna tell them something else, Jim.
Okay.
And I cleared this with Mike ahead of time.
Okay.
Mike is building literally a library of books. Most of them business, but not all of them. A lot of them are on human nature and on navigating life, basically. Stories of inspiration, okay? But he's building an entire library of books. Now, these books, you can go online and find them on Amazon. Most of them are bestsellers, you know, because that's the way that Mike works. You can spend $20, $30, $40, $50. Most of them are about $24.95 to $30.95. But Mike will give you a library card and you'll get at least your choice of 10 books at no cost to you at ideasworthknowing.com. And can I put in a little bit of a shameless promotion for Jim here? Jim's coming out with a book with Mike, and his book will be one of the ones in there, and you can get one of those. Okay, I just gave it away, Jim. You can get one of those with your library card to ideasworthknowing.com. And there's no cost to you to do it.
But only if you're bored. I want you to get it. No, I'm just kidding. But let's go ahead and let's go through the other list here. We got these three things here. Now, starting with number 4. You get a customized cover and promotion graphics. This is all done for you. And I mean, it just, everything I've seen there, when you go to the library, go to ideasworthknowing.com, you're going to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is big time, folks.
And there are publishers who charge extra for that, by the way. And I can tell you firsthand that's the case.
And let me just say this before I go any further. We've worked on a very, very a great price, and it's not going to cost you nearly as much as some other people. It just says, okay, here's your book. I wrote, I did all this work for you, got it published, and there it is. And that's the end of it, because you can see you're going to have customized cover and promotion graphics that's going to be done for you. It's going to be published on Amazon and all the major outlets, and that's going to be done for you.
Oh, and Jim, I just got to say, I mean, folks, Jim isn't saying it, but I mean, it's just like, in my experience, it's like a tenth or less than what the market is out there charging. I'll just put it out there.
Yeah, because when he told me what the price was going to be for everyday people, I go like, wow, because I know I've been quoted prices on books, and we're talking 5,000-10,000 and up.
Oh, that's a low end. That's usually when you have an anthology with 15 or 20 authors in a book.
Yeah.
20, 30, 40, $50,000 I've been quoted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, we're talking El Cheaperito. We ain't talking about no promotions, no nothings. I mean, this is big time, folks. I give you my word on that. And also your own Amazon About the Author page, that's going to be done for you too. Whew, man.
Yep.
So let's go into the next one. I'll finish up this here right quick.
Oh, I have to say though here, folks, a lot of this stuff that Jim is putting out, Mike has spent Mike Lewis was on a previous show. Mike has spent years in
30, 40 years. Yeah.
Oh, long time.
Longer.
And one of the things that has increasingly bugged him is that there are a lot of people who want to have a book.
Yeah.
Or who could benefit from a book, but it's been priced so out of the reach for them.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And so
I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous.
He took the knowledge he has in order to make this possible. Go on to the next slide.
Yeah, because Mike, he does this because he loves it.
Oh, yes.
I mean, this is more like, I don't want to say a hobby, but I mean, that's how much he loves it. Next slide. Number, did I skip one there? No, okay, good. Okay, good. You're going to have 3 complete press release campaigns done for you. Oh, Emerson, when Mike does a press release, share with the audience out there what those press releases are.
Well, I'll use the example of the one release that we did for that event that we did in Tomball, Texas. Where we had
with our friend Marty Haggard.
Well over 200 different pickups on it. And by pickup, I mean podcast, radio interview, TV interview, newspaper, magazine, all picking it up.
Yes.
And Mike's going to give 3 complete releases on each and one of these books. Many publishers, and I have to say this, even Mike had a program before where he would charge extra to do it, and many publishers do. They do the bare minimum, and then they move on to their next book. But this is a real, not a one-shot, but a real 3-shot press release campaign in order to get you publicity. Yeah. And if you have a business, you know the value of that by itself.
When Emerson sent me the press release that Mike did for us, I looked at that thing and the list goes on and on and on. I'm going like, holy enchiladas.
Yeah.
I've never seen a press release like that.
Yep.
And this thing puts, it's up in the air like a jet, and social media posting is down here with a horse and buggy. That's about a good analogy.
Well, I think that one event that we did had like 200 people in it.
Yeah, yeah. And that is because the room was limited.
Yeah.
It was sold out.
Yeah, it was sold out. That is true. I'd forgotten that. It was sold out.
Yeah. Yeah. And Emerson was wearing them cowboy boots, had his cowboy hat on. Anyway, he's also going to do a total social media push, and that's going to be done for you. Everything's including one small price.
Mhm.
I'll just say it's less than 5,000. Okay. I'll just say that. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to say that. He will also do an email blast to your audience.
Yep.
This is done for you, and your photo is going to be on there.
Yep.
That is just blowing me away. And
you
also,
can take and use that same campaign to blast out to your own followers,
own email. Yes.
to your own subscribers, to your own clients as well. This is figuring out who your audience is and then sending out an email blast that is addressing them.
Think how much fun that'd be to send to some of your relatives, huh? Maybe I shouldn't have shown that. But also, too, it doesn't stop there. Your book cover. Yes. I didn't get a good picture of it, but I'm going to show you a picture of this. It's not real good, but you're going to get a frame with your book cover and a plaque done for you. Think about if you own a business. People come in and they see you're an Amazon bestseller, you best-selling book there, and they see your face there on the cover of the book, and they see you got a plaque. Whoa, that's big time.
And it will be a bestseller.
Yes.
It will be a bestseller. He has cracked that code as far as making sure that what your book is not just another book that somebody's come up with, but it actually is a bestseller.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the formula on that, trust me. And he's also, Emerson and Mike and I, we worked out a deal where you will also be interviewed by Mike and Emerson on this TV show, and you will be able to receive a copy of your interview at no additional cost. And you can make it, pick out key points you want to make. You just use a little teaser video, as seen on TV. Oh, that's huge. Because
how many viewers do you have a month, Jim?
We get over 1 million impressions a month. I don't know. I mean,
I think between this and the podcast and everything, I think you got over 1.5.
Yeah. Anyway,
but there are a lot of people who will be watching it.
Yes. And the good news of it is you'll be able to have a copy. I will send you the full copy of the interview, and you can either have someone do it, or I'll be glad to do it for you if you tell me what you want, and cut out like 1 or 2 minute clips of bullet points. Because being seen on TV, oh my goodness, to prove my point, if you walk into a store and you're looking at some products on the shelf, there's 5 or 6, maybe 7 different brands, and you're trying to figure out which one would be the best buy for you for that deal. And you see one's got that little sticker on there as seen on TV. What goes through your mind?
I'm going to say it a little different way, folks.
Okay, go ahead.
Because there are always some people, I've done marketing for so many years. There are always some people that say, well, that doesn't affect me. I don't look at things like that. I'm not interested in that. You know what? Here's a rule of thumb for you. If you own a business, you are not your customer.
That's right.
And the reality is there is a measurable difference.
Mm-hmm.
If there wasn't a measurable difference, you would not see brands that have millions of dollars to spend doing that and using that. It does work. I've measured the difference.
I found myself saying that, well, if it's been seen on TV, it's got to be good.
If somebody's looking at 2 or 3 or 4 other companies that do something similar to yours, and here's yours, and you have a best-selling book on it, and you were seen on TV talking about it, and all of these things go into the hopper on your side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when they're weighing those differences, guess which one has the greatest weight?
There you go.
You
There
do.
you go. And you think about when you go into a doctor's office or an attorney's office, some professional's office, and they have their plaques behind them, with
Mhm.
their degrees and all that, where they went to college and all. And think about how you would feel if someone came into your place of business and they were standing there and without you saying a word, boom, chicky boom, look at that. That's that that's that photo. That's not a
There it
real good
is.
copy of it, but that's that photo and a plaque of you framed in your place of business. That speaks volumes about who you are.
Yep.
Oh,
Jim, it is so true. When you go into a business and you see that they're featured as one of the top 50 companies in the business journal, or
mhm.
you go into a hospital and they're one of the top 10 hospitals in the country in
Yeah.
terms of patient satisfaction or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. These companies who are spending a lot more money than you
Mhm.
could even imagine. And
Oh.
again, I partnered with a fellow who had over 1,100 hospitals using a
Mm.
program that he had created.
Mhm.
And I can tell you this, it matters.
Yes.
It matters. And
Mhm. Mhm.
it reassures. It establishes your credibility. It
Mhm.
says to the person the decision that they've made to even come or talk to you or
Mhm.
consider working with you or buying from
Mhm.
you, that their decision was a good decision, that they weren't the first ones in the line and the guinea pig to see
Yeah.
if you were any good or not.
Mhm.
It says
Absolutely.
this person is a good person for us to call in to interview when we want to talk about this business sector or this
Mhm.
market or this news item that reflects
Mm.
on our local business. This is
Oh,
something
yeah.
that says to them, here's somebody who has been recognized by somebody before me and is probably a good person to
Mm.
call, to interview, to
And I
quote.
will And I will guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, if you got your book cover there and a plaque, you're a best-selling author on Amazon, you just, share that with someone in print,
Mhm,
newspaper, magazine, or something. They will want a they will want a picture of that
mhm.
because it speaks volumes.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
every single person out there that's a writer in a magazine or a newspaper or whatever, they're always looking for good content. And if you bring good content to them and make them look good, it's a win win situation. You made their job a lot easier.
Jim, I've spent my entire career in marketing
Mm-hmm.
sales. I,
Mm-hmm.
I have one of the things in our class that we talked about was this doesn't have to do with a book. I'm using it as a different example here.
Mm-hmm.
But I worked with a company called Emery Air Freight,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they decided to bring in a 727 jet, the first all freight plane to come into our hometown. Up until that time, if you had to ship something heavy, it always went out under the belly of a big, a 727 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they put in the very first 727,
Mm-hmm.
and I managed to get the mayor's office, the port authority, two or three newspaper and TV and radio reporters out there at 4:30. Oh, Jim, your old Army days at 04:30 in the morning.
Hooah.
Right? Ooh, what did I have them at the airport for? To
You
watch a
had them.
plane land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That's what happens all the time at airports. I
Yeah.
had them out there to watch a plane land because I knew how to work and use media
Mm.
and what they
Mm-hmm.
were looking for in order to fill that bill. And
Mm-hmm.
folks, I can tell you that I said this isn't a book story.
Mm-hmm.
A book is the way. Look, if you were an NFL star, or if you were a top name performer in Vegas or something, or in Hollywood, an actor, and you had something that you put out to the media chances are you're going to get it covered.
Mhm.
For the
Oh,
rest of
yeah.
us mortals, there is nothing. Nothing.
Well,
Nothing.
you
Did I say
left out.
nothing?
You said nothing, yeah.
Nothing
But you
like
left out a little bit of
having
that
a
stuff.
book
Yeah.
that you're able to hold out, and now it establishes you
Mhm.
in a whole different place in their mind.
Yeah.
Please understand that.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's more than just it isn't ego.
Mm-mm.
It's not frivolous.
Mm-mm.
It's not something that just you're spending money on because you don't have it to spend anywhere else.
Mhm.
If you own a small business or a business of any size, it is an investment. And when you know how to use it,
Yes.
and by the way, if anybody want to talk to me about how to use it, I can go into a lot more detail about the ways that you can use this
Mhm.
in order to maximize your business and take you head and shoulders above
Mhm.
any competition that you have.
Yeah, just visit Emerson there at web3direct.com, or you can contact Emerson on his email, web3@web3direct.com. And
There you
Emerson
go.
left out a couple of the little tidbits there about his story about Emory Freight before
Oh
they
boy.
were landing. They were just landing Cub planes, and Emerson, he's busy out there and he's building this business for them. And they're going to bring in a 727. He says, "Hey, that's great." He calls the home office. They go, "Well, that ain't uncommon for us." But it was big news in Emerson's mind. He knew how to put it together.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, he had him out there at 4:30 in the morning. And I was teasing him, "Does anybody go, the plane, boss, the plane," from the old Fantasy Island shows. But the funny thing was, imagine these pilots have been flying all night. It's 4:30 in the morning. They're bone tired. Their eyes are red. And they open up the plane to come off the plane. And all of a sudden, here's these TV cameras out there, and they're on TV. And they're like, what happened? I mean,
That's exactly the way it was too.
can you
And Jim is
imagine?
entirely right. The
Mhm.
home office of this Fortune 100 company, the marketing department
Mhm.
said, and I'm going to use the quote that Jim heard me say in the class. Said, we put new metal in markets all the time. There's nothing new here. Go out and get some more business.
Mhm.
And what we did with that one landing, hear this, folks, we ended up doubling the volume of an
Wow.
office that was 14 years old.
Mm.
We doubled the volume because of the publicity that we were able to get from a single moment in time.
Mm.
And that is what I have done that with books.
Mhm.
And Jim and I were talking before the show. I mean, I've done books that took, in one case, a 22 or 23-year-old kid, and in just a matter of months, he was on every national talk show in the country.
Wow. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Every week. And for 2.5 years, he was on every talk show in the country, basically.
Wow.
Going on and on and on. And the thing is, what did that? What did it was having the message that the people were looking for, and in his case was having a book.
Yes. Yes. You know, I just keep looking at that photo of Devin there, and I know Devin. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I've known him
He's
for,
got his,
I don't know, 10 or 15 years.
oh, yeah. I've known him for 5, 8 years, something like that. And seeing that, having his plaque and all that, I mean, oh my goodness gracious, that will never get old looking at it. Think about how you would feel if you had, that picture, a cover picture of you on your book and a plaque and had it framed. Oh my goodness.
And then you're able to offer the person before they leave, would you like me to give you a signed copy of my book?
Oh,
And that
makes it
seals
very
that.
personal. Yeah,
It's
that makes
very
it very, very
personal,
personal.
and it turns into referrals. It
Mhm.
turns into business. It turns into people calling you months and even years later
Mhm.
because they
Mhm.
have that book
Yeah.
in their hand.
Absolutely. Now, I also like to point out that Emerson, he's also a board member with the U.S. Green Chamber of Commerce.
Yes,
If
I
you go to
am.
that website there and just click on about, click on the board members, you'll see Mr. Emerson there, and we're very honored to have him with us. And Emerson, when it comes to Mike is just he's a gentleman that really knows how to ask you questions to bring out the best in you. And don't worry about if you're over here and then you're over there and then you're back over here. Don't worry about that in the interview, because getting back to the very first, page here. See if I can do this here. There we go. He's going to transcribe it. He's going to massage it. I put rewritten. He's going to massage it for you. And he's going to clean that thing up. And in other words, he knows what he's doing. And he's
published
a
something like 1,000 or more best-selling authors.
Oh,
Yeah,
more than that. More than that. Yeah.
He knows what he knows because he knows that he knows it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just off the chart. And again, let me find that. Where did I put it? Here we go.
Yeah, there you go. Ideasworthknowing.com.
Yeah, and get that complimentary card there. And
yes,
and
folks, business books and there are other books that aren't just business books, but if you go to Amazon, it's not unusual at all for books to be $20, $25, and you get 10 of the books that he's published for best-selling books. You get 10 of them and complimentary. It's this isn't a come on. It's just go in there and make your pick.
Yeah.
Like remember the old what was the what was the old thing they used to do with books, and they did them with tapes and albums and things like that. You signed up and then you
like the Columbia Records
that's it, yeah. And you got like 10 of them for a penny or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't quite like that. You're not gonna keep being hit for buying more, but it will give you the access. And as every new book comes out, you'll be aware of it. Like when Jim's book comes out, some of you will be watching this show after Jim's book has come out.
Yeah.
Some of you might be seeing it before Jim's book has come out. But when a new book comes out, Mike will let you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm really looking forward to it because...
And I'm going to say this, Jim, for those of you who are watching, I haven't even talked with Mike about this, okay? But I'll talk to Mike and make sure anybody who comes in from Jim's it comes in with the address here, you put in Jim's book in your email, even if this is, and Jim, I'm just saying, I'm putting this out there, even if it's a year or 2 or 3 later, okay?
All right.
You're watching this show, Jim wants you to have his book.
Oh, yeah.
You put in Jim's book in that email when you register, or you do that, I'll talk to Mike. We'll make sure that you get a copy of Jim's book for sure, at no cost.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's just amazing. It really is. And goodness gracious, our time is about gone, Emerson. My goodness.
Sure is, yeah.
I tell you, we just really, we're very excited about offering this opportunity out there in TV land, because everybody has a story. They really, truly do.
Yes.
And all you have to do is just sit in a relaxed environment and let Mike interview you. And the interview will be recorded, not on live TV or anything like that, but it'd be recorded. He will do all the work behind the scene, and he will make sure that this is exactly what you want to say. And then after the book is published and all that becomes a bestseller on Amazon, Mike will want to interview you on TV. And, that's just, when you come on TV, folks, you just sit there and look at the camera. There's the 18.
It happens every time. I thought I had it turned off.
Yeah. But that's okay. I get a kick out of that. But whenever you're on TV, all you got to do is just have a one-on-one conversation from the heart, as if you're looking at just like one person's watching you.
Sitting on your couch and talking.
Yes, it's that simple. Just be yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, our time's about gone. We're getting up close to where we got to get out of here. It's going to take the hook and pull me out. But we're just so excited about being able to offer you this opportunity. Please go to ideasworthknowing.com
There
and
you go.
check it out and get your complimentary card. Is there Emerson, real quickly, is there a specific place they go there to get the complimentary book?
When you go there, just look up in the menu. You'll see where you have the opportunity to get it.
Bingo.
Let us
Bingo.
know. Let us know
Mhm.
that you heard it on Jim's show too. Okay.
Yeah. I
Jim
appreciate
doesn't
that.
get paid if you give a card here. It's just to let Jim know. Hey, Jim, you know what? Some of your viewers came in and guess what?
Yeah.
Your book is getting out to them because Jim's book is going to be a real tell-all, won't it, Jim?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm very candid and very honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you folks out there that follow the show, you know that. And but that's the only way to be. That's what people want. They want someone that's down to earth, someone that's honest, someone that, they know that they're not afraid to admit when they goof up, or they're not afraid to admit that they can't pronounce words phonetically all the time correctly. I enjoy having a degree in being able to mispronounce words correctly the very first time. I don't even have to study it, comes to me natural.
The books, okay.
Yeah, that's a huge blessing there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time is gone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wherever you're at in the world, Emerson and I, we sincerely hope that you and your loved ones are healthy, happy, and blessed in all areas of your life. And we want to thank you for tuning in, because you could be spending your time watching something else. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. Emerson, it's always a pleasure, my brother.
Folks, get your stories told.
There you go.
Get your stories told.
Yeah. You'll be glad you did. Get that plaque and that book cover and hang it up. Yeah. Especially when your relatives come over. I got to pick it. I'm picking at my relatives. They love me anyway. They know I pick at them. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Bye-bye.